one more thing, and then you are officially part of the family. So, at midnight, you have to play a game.
Why?
It's just something we do when someone new joins the family.
A game. What game? Hide and seek? Are we really gonna play that?
Alright guys, welcome to our review on Ready or Not, the movie about a newlywed couple who has to play a very serious game of hide and seek at the husband's family estate. So, start off, my name's Jordan, this is my fiance, Jacqueline, and we're starting this YouTube channel as mainly just an entertainment thing, so like movies, TV, and video games. She's not going to be in the video game part. My buddy Brady will be in there for that. We're just kind of waiting on some things to go through. But so to start off, I'm going to let you guys know this is full spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, don't watch it unless you want the whole thing to be spoiled for you. So, like I said earlier, the movie is about a newlywed couple who, at their wedding, after their wedding, they have to play a game of hide and seek because the husband's family is a big board game, card game, just game in general, company, whatever you want to call it, and they're very wealthy. And it turns out that they made a pact with, I don't know if it's the devil or a guy or a spirit or something, but made a pact with somebody that whenever somebody gets welcomed into their family through marriage or whatever, they have to play a game. And this game does not end up going good for the girl. So I'm going to start off by asking Jacqueline your opinion on this movie.
I feel like there were definitely a lot of things that they could have done differently. I feel like the plot was kind of awkward in some spots. It didn't really make much sense. There was a lot of action that I did kind of enjoy. It was very suspenseful. I felt like my heart was racing for a large portion of it, but I didn't really enjoy the ending, and I feel like it needed something. There was something missing that I just couldn't put my finger on.
So I agree with you. I think that the kills in the movie were pretty creative. I thought that they were good.
I did like that.
I thought that was pretty entertaining. I get what you're saying with the plot being kind of awkward. I feel like that it was just a weird setup to have it, like with I think that the idea of playing a game of hide and seek and the wife doesn't actually know that the people are trying to kill her, I think that's really creative. Like, that's a creative idea. Maybe they could have went about setting that up a little bit better. But what did you think about the acting in the movie? What did you think about the lead actress?
I feel like there were some spots that she seemed kind of amateur, but the spots where she was having like breakdowns and panic attacks, I feel like she played that out really well. Like, I felt like it was very natural. Like, she was shaking, you could hear it in her voice, like she was just really scared. I liked the parts where she was really kind of like sassy and aggressive, like she ripped her dress off and she was really like about to just grab everybody by the balls, like ready to go. And I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I think I agree with you on that too. I think that when she was having her meltdowns and she was yelling at her husband after she found out that what his family was doing, and I think that was hysterical, especially like when she's swearing and she's just going off on him. That's probably like one of the best aspects of the movie. So continuing on acting, what did you think of the husband?
He really made me mad. He really,
All right, we're gonna
really
save
made
that.
me
We're gonna
mad.
save that for a little bit later, because I'm gonna ask you about that too.
Overall, I feel like he should have been more important in the role, like in the movie. I feel like they didn't really give much story about him. Like, the beginning, they showed a portion of him, like the last time that this hide and seek event happened, and I feel like I would have wanted more backstory about like why he was put in like the closet and stuff, and like what he truly did see and what he thought that this night was gonna be.
Yeah, so going off of that, this occurrence in the family has only ever happened once before this.
Which is like a huge portion of why the aunt is all messed up.
So the aunt in the movie, she's real crazy. She's real psycho. She's like real creepy too. And it's because, like she said in the beginning of the movie, you see I don't know if you want to call it a flashback, but it's a flashback to the husband as a kid and his brother. And they're running around this house trying, just going along because they think it's hide and seek. And they find the aunt's husband. And that's who it happened to back, I think it was like 30 or 40 years, 30 years ago. And they found his or her husband, and his brother actually yelled, "He's in here!" And then that's when he gets pulled into a closet. The main character, the husband, he gets pulled into the closet as a kid, and
kind of like sheltered from it. But
right.
It kind of gives a good meaning as to why the aunt is like really dark and grim and like
right.
is all for this night.
Mm-hmm.
Which was definitely different. You didn't know that at the beginning, so when that finally hit, like, it was like an aha moment, like, holy crap, that's why she's the way that she is.
Yeah, I didn't put that together until they actually explained it in the movie, which I'm glad they did that. So as far as side characters, I don't really feel like we have to talk about them, just because I feel like they're all pretty much the same.
I don't know. I feel like the brother... Is it Daniel?
Well, yeah, the brother. I wouldn't consider him a side character.
Key component to this movie. Like, he kind of threw everything off,
right,
too.
I liked his character. He was kind of like... He was playing like that double agent where, like, 1 minute he's on the family side, and 1 minute he's on her side, and then the next moment he's on the family. And he just kept on switching back and forth. He was rubber banding. But as far as everybody else, like the sisters and the other wives and the husbands, I feel like they were all pretty much the same. There were the two, the sister who accidentally is killing everybody.
Yeah, which was hilarious.
And then she's comic relief. And then the husband of maybe her, he's comic relief because he doesn't know how to use his crossbow. And he's always making jokes. There's a scene where he's looking up his packs with the devil reel and stuff like that. And then actually Daniel, his brother's wife, she was a little bit different. She was more serious, which that actually makes me bring up my next point. What did you think? So they made it very clear that this only happened once before. So it happened 30 years ago, and none of these people that are in the family now, other than the dad, I'm assuming, and the aunt, were actually part of this family, other than the brother and the husband.
I think the mom was too.
Yeah.
Because she said she only did it one other time.
But none of these other people were in the family. So why are they just okay with going on this hunt? You know?
I feel like when Daniel's wife was talking about it, she kind of knew that was like a possibility. I feel like Daniel kind of slipped to her like, hey, this might happen. Because I kind of wish I knew more of her backstory, because she seemed like she came from something real crazy, because she said she'd rather die than not be a part of their family.
Life, yeah. Because that's the whole thing, is that this pact with the devil was that as long as they play a game every time that somebody got welcomed into the family, they'd be blessed with riches and wealth, and they wouldn't fall into hard times. So
yeah. Which they just got lucky and played actual games.
Yeah, checkers, chess. It's the only game that results in death is hide and seek.
Hide and seek, yeah.
So,
I just don't like how they didn't really develop their characters very well. Like, if they're gonna bring up something about her past, but then not explain what her past is, like, I feel like it's just very conflicting to the plot.
The angry wife of the brother?
Yes.
Okay.
Like, I feel like they should have, if they're going to bring up something from her past, then why not go back to it or say something more about it?
Which, I don't know, is this a movie that could have a sequel?
More than likely.
Or they could do a spin-off with... Honestly, you could do anything with this, because there's so many different people you could...
Because even the sister has, like, a drug problem, but they don't really bring up why or what caused her to start that. Or...
Right, yeah. She was snorting cocaine, and in the movie, the comic relief husband was like, we just need to give her an edible and calm her down or something
to even
like
her
that.
out.
Even her out, yeah, that was pretty funny. But, so we covered that. What do you Alright, so we're going to talk about this ending. And a twist in the movie. We're going to talk about the twist and then the ending. So the twist, I kind of predicted in my own head. I didn't mention it to you when we were in the theater, but I predicted in my head that the husband of the main character would end up switching sides, going to the family side, and trying to kill his wife. What did you think about that?
It made me so mad. The whole beginning of the movie is pretty much him trying to, like, find her, save her, rescue her. Like, he goes and, like, shuts off the whole, like, panel to the house to unlock the doors, breaks it, chokes his own dad, goes through all this trouble, and then at the very end, miraculously, just because his mom shed a couple tears, which was another thing that irritated me, they didn't really explain enough why he, like, left. They did a little bit, but I feel like they needed to put more, like, meaning behind, like, why he
Maybe
truly
like another
left.
flashback or something.
Yeah, I feel like a flashback would have been a good way to kind of relay the past and why it happened that way. But I don't know, he kind of, like, had a pivotal point at that moment when his mom talked to her, but he still managed to break free, and I feel like he wouldn't have turned had she not bashed his mom's face in.
Yeah, I was just gonna bring that up.
I feel like that was when he kind of, like, I think originally he was gonna be like, all right, let's go, let's run away, and then he saw the picture of her just bashing her face in.
Yeah, so I think that was his pivotal moment. Like, holy crap, she just killed my mom. She's killing all these people. Maybe this is for the better, that she just needs to die. You know, this is my family. I need to take care of them. Which, I don't know. I think that also he did see his brother die. So
yeah, which was a very big part to him.
He also, because he really cared for his brother, and
his brother cared for him too. That's why he died.
And in the beginning of the movie, when right before their wedding starts, they're actually talking. The wife and the husband, or the fiancés at this point, they're talking about his alcoholic brother, and she's calling him an alcoholic brother and stuff. So in his head, maybe when he's seeing him die, they never made it a clear point to him in the movie that she didn't kill him. He doesn't know that his wife accidentally,
well, he was sticking up for the wife, and
Yeah.
that's why he got shot. By his own wife, wasn't it? Or,
Yeah.
No,
It was by
stepsister, wasn't it?
stepsister?
Not stepsister.
Somebody.
Sister-in-law.
Somebody shot him.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the main character, the main girl, Grace. It wasn't her. So
He was standing up for her.
So now you're seeing the husband is seeing his mom die and his brother die. And that is the turning point for him, where he says, okay, we're killing her. That's it. I'm on the family side. We're killing her. Which, it's a real Game of Thrones type of thing for me, where I feel like they kind of rushed it. You know, like you didn't watch Game of Thrones, but they rushed it, and I feel like maybe if they didn't have him trying to help her the first 3/4 of the movie, and then that last quarter he's just like, oh, I'm killing her. I think that it would have been a little bit better. Maybe the first half he's helping her, and then the second half, like the third quarter of the movie, he's like kind of starting to like, and then the fourth quarter, the ending is just like, yep, I'm done. Maybe a little bit build up, but so now we're going to talk about the ending. I was under the impression the entire movie that it was all a hoax. There was no pact with the devil. None of this was real. And there's going to be no payoff at the end. All these people are dead for no reason. She was almost getting killed for no reason. But it turns out that it's real. The crazy aunt opens the curtain, and the sun comes through, and everybody's like a vampire. They all think they're getting ready to die. And then nothing happens. And that's when I was like, wow. I was like, what a waste.
Nothing.
And then the dad starts giving a speech, and then he implodes. He just blows up. Straight up explodes. And more things are going on, and more speeches and people are trying to run away and everybody's just blowing up. And I don't mean like explosion. I mean like their body is just gone and blood's flying everywhere.
Yeah, like blood and guts.
So what did you think about that?
Well, at first, with the whole ending thing, I thought that the reason that the pact was made and the reason that like everybody was supposedly gonna die playing this game after would be because the person hiding was gonna end up having to kill all of them off in order to survive. So that's what I was kind of thinking, like when everybody started dying and when she started like picking one person off at a time. And the fact that people were killing each other like during the whole thing. So my spin on it, I thought, was that was the reason that everybody died, especially when there was that pause of time when like nobody was exploding. But I just feel like exploding I just feel like that, honestly, at this point they might as well have just dropped dead like to the floor.
Right, yeah.
Exploding was a little excessive.
That aspect of the movie is its August horror movie release date. I think that's what it is. It's not, you know what I mean?
But I feel like it would have been more realistic. Like, I mean, this story could happen if you had like a family that was crazy enough to do something like that.
This is, when you have like a slasher movie like this, anything is possible.
Yeah, so I feel like they could have made it more realistic by not exploding them, or just letting them all die in the fire that she started.
Yeah, that would be more realistic. That would kind of coincide with something that the father of the whole family was talking about previously in the movie, when he was talking about other family members that didn't play the game that ended up dying, that they just burst into flames. That could have been a whole thing where the house is actually like burning, you know what I mean? So I agree with you on that.
Or they could have just played it like they didn't die, and then they realized that it was stupid that they even played that game to begin with, or they just got like cursed. Like, it would be kind of cool if they did like a flash forward and showing like how their life is so miserable, like they lost their house or they became like really poor or something. Like something that would really make them suffer for the rest of their lives rather than just exploding.
Can we just talk about how screwed that the main female character is at the end of the movie? Her entire in-law family is dead. Their probably multi-million-dollar estate is burning to the ground. And she just married this wealthy man.
Although she divorced at the very end.
Yeah, but she's married to him legally. And everybody's dead.
Yeah.
And who's gonna get all that money now?
One can only hope that she inherits it.
Right, but what are the cops gonna think about that?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, honestly, they could probably do another movie based off of her getting the, like, game place and then her having to do the same pack with her new family.
That would be interesting. That would be interesting.
I feel like that could be they could very easily do that.
They could. I don't know if they will.
No,
I don't know.
Probably not.
I don't know how much money this movie made. I don't know what the budget was or how much money the movie made. I'll have to look at that after.
I don't think the budget could have been that big. I mean, it was all in the same.
It was all in the same place.
Yeah. It was pretty graphic, though. I was kind of surprised that it was as graphic as it was, and it looked pretty realistic for most of the graphic points.
I like I said earlier, the kills were good. I enjoyed the kills. It was an entertaining movie.
Like the one where she's stuck in a dumbwaiter.
Yeah.
You could like hear her body separating and then just see her like guts spewing out of her mouth. Like it was a pretty good like realistic vision, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
Or when she had a gunshot through her hand.
That was pretty cool.
Oh, and she stuck it through a nail. Like, I think she did really great acting with some of the things.
Yeah, she did good.
She did really good.
She's a Margot Robbie lookalike. Were you getting that vibe the whole movie?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, she looked like Margot Robbie.
Back to the family thing, though. I feel like that's a really sad like side plot because she was from like foster care, so she was really excited to finally have a family. Yeah. So that's like another thing that's going on in her mind, I'm sure, right now.
You could tell like before the whole action sequences and everything started that she was like the whole wedding. She was real nervous about how her new family was gonna think of her and how she wanted to be accepted and actually be a part of this big family, which made you care for her a lot. Like I cared for her. Like I was rooting for her the whole movie. I didn't want her to die. Sometimes, like in movies like this, I kind of want the main characters to die, just because I think it would be different from the mainstream way of doing things. But I was rooting for her this movie.
I was just really rooting for a fairy tale ending where she lived the husband lived and they just got away from their family.
Yeah, I didn't. I predicted that in my head. I was like, he's gonna turn. It's gonna happen.
I didn't see it. I was so mad when he grabbed her.
But I guess to wrap things up, because so we're gonna give this a 1 through 10 rating. 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. What do you think?
Can we do like 2 separate things? Like, can we do like plot and then like overall like suspense? Like, I feel like it kept me engaged, but there were things that I definitely hated about it.
All right, go ahead.
So I feel like watching it wise, like if you want to get like a good like adrenaline rush, like feel really good at the edge of your seat, like heart pounding, I would say probably like an 8.5.
8.5. Okay.
Yeah. But if I would say, like, plot-wise, like, if you want a really good storyline or if you want something that's kind of, like, gonna blow your mind or make you think really hard about, like, what's really going on, I would say probably, like a 5 or a 6.
Okay, so you want to meet in the middle and give it a 7 for your final...
Yeah, we'll give it a 7.
Alright, so her final thing is a 7. So, here's my problem. The beginning of the movie, the build up to it was good. I cared for the husband at first because he's trying to warn her, hey, you don't have to do this. I love you to death, but you don't have to marry me. This is your out.
Yeah, they
You
should
don't
have just
have to.
never got married.
I cared for them. The build up was good. The action sequences were good. The kills were good in the middle. The ending really does, it blew it for me. The explosions.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. The explosions kind of ruined it for me. The plot was, like you said, it was probably a 6.
It was blotchy.
It was blotchy.
Mm-hmm.
And the suspense and the action and everything along those lines and the edge of your seat, it is an 8. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it just a solid 7. Like, I'm gonna say 7 overall. So would you recommend to go to the theater and watch this, or would you wait for a home release? Oh, that's another thing I want to ask you too, so go ahead.
That's a hard one. I feel like it depends. Because sometimes I feel like things could be, like, more scary when you're in your own home. Like, it's dark, you can hear things, like, creaking in the background. So if you want things, like, to be more heightened, I would watch it at home. But nothing beats, like, sitting in a movie theater having some popcorn. So I feel like I don't hate this movie enough to not go see it in theaters.
Okay. And one more thing. Would you watch this more than once? Like, could you watch this again? Is it rewatchable? For me, it's not.
I don't think so.
I know what happens. I'm probably not going to buy this on Blu-ray or anything. This is probably just going to be, unless it's like a sale for $5, then I'll get it.
Yeah,
But,
I feel like it wasn't. I don't know. I would know everything that was going to happen.
Right, yeah.
I feel like even after watching the preview, I knew everything that was going to happen.
Yeah,
that was, like, really big.
Yeah.
So I feel like, no, I probably wouldn't watch it again. I feel like that one time was pretty good for me.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. Go watch it in theater. If you don't get around to seeing it, rent it.
Yeah, rent it.
Rent it. I wouldn't buy it. So 7, go see it. That's all for us. Make sure you guys leave a like, and if you enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you didn't, let us know why. Let us know what we could do a little bit better. If you do enjoy us, then make sure you subscribe. We're going to have more content coming. Hopefully a little bit sooner. We're going to try and do reviews the night of seeing the movie so we can get out as soon as possible. But, and look forward to more content in the future. So, thanks guys for watching.